This is Zettelcast, brought to you by readers, writers, thinkers, and teachers from LiLLiPub, along with our partners in thought, our Zettelkastens. In this show, we share discoveries that our Zettelkastens have shown us.
There you go.
And compare notes on how we're using this marvelous invention in our creative work. Thank you for joining us.
All right, Book.
Do it again.
All right.
Episode 66, The Box of Gifts.
Hello, welcome to Zettelcast number 66. This is going to be a Christmas episode because Christmas is right around the corner. I'm Mel Jeffcoat. I'm hosting today. And so our first topic of interest is to talk about the gifts that we have given and received in regards to our Zettelkasten. And I offered a number of prompts. We'll see where people go with this. So Victoria, would you like to start us off?
Sure. So the first one is kind of a no-brainer and super easy because without question, and I'm not going to cry, you guys are going to cry. The biggest gift is this community. I mean, you guys are my heart. It is such a privilege to be here among such amazing people and to have forged these relationships that just really, really mean the world to me. So I'm just going to stop there. That. And then, of course, I could never, ever in a million years have written a 566-page brick without Wilma, my Zettelkasten. I tried for over 20 years to write this beast of a novel that was just stucker than stuck. And many of you know, when I discovered the note card system, it was like the top of my head just blew off. And all of a sudden I had a lane, I had a purpose, I had a methodology. I mean, it just all fell into place, ridiculously simple, as if that's exactly how it was supposed to be, which now I know it is. But yeah, I could not have gotten these two things done without it. And then finally, I think people who either discover the system and find reasons to love it, or who even dabble in it in a serious way, you find out pretty early on. I feel like my brain was sort of in stuck mode for a long time because of my work. I'd gotten away from reading. I hadn't read a novel in over a decade, and I'm a reader. I love reading, but life just takes you away from those things that, again, are part of your heart and who you are at the core. And I'm a library rat. I always have been, but I got so far off track. And because of a bunch of flippin' note cards, all of a sudden it all came rushing back to me. And I felt like I had my brain back, I had my focus back, I had my passion back, all of those things that I had kind of safely tucked away, while I was doing grown-up work, just came rushing back in, and I'm so much better for it. Those are my biggest gratitude things, is I feel like I got my passion and my life's focus back, and there's no way I could have done that without a simple note box. So that's it.
Wow. Outstanding.
Yeah.
And I should get the new proof this week. It'll be an extra Christmas bonus. So as soon as I have it in my hands, I'm placing my order and off to the races. So just a little longer.
Well, I know we're all looking forward to that.
Yeah. Hundreds of people are looking forward to that, which must be a great feeling.
It's coming. I hate disappointing people, but it's the binder broke. I got a notice through my account that the thing that creates the binding at the printer broke. So they had like a manufacturing breakdown. I'm like, really? Here I am again, standing on the deck of the ship, yelling into the storm. Is that all you got? I'm like, come on, man, I'm due a break. Jeez. It's a thriller for sure.
Well, who would like to go next?
Okay. I only have one answer though. But anyhow, let me just Mel, when you put out that that question about those circulation cards, I kept going round and around and around in my head, and I thought, yeah, ideas as opposed to books, right? Ideas as opposed to books. When did I find it? What did I do with it? How long did I work with it?
Oh.
Right? Yeah.
Oh.
And for context, we're talking about the cards that used to come in library books where they'd have the date and the borrower so that the library could keep track of who had the book at any given time and when it was due back. I acquired just a box of those from a teacher who thought she could use them and then didn't. And then I realized I don't lend my books out generally, so what am I going to do with it? So I put out the question to LiLLiPub, how could I use these things in my Zettelkasten? So, and Deb, you've really taken off with this
Art.
idea.
I can't. Yeah, you've got it. It's the note card. What did you take it out for? Where is it?
Yeah, that is genius. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if it goes with a specific card, how often are you pulling that same card? Do you have hero cards in your Zettelkasten that are being checked out constantly?
That's it. The circ cards as ideas. Circulation of ideas in your mind, in your Zettelkasten, in your life. And this is a mechanism that allows you to keep up with the ins and outs of those, When did you stumble on it? Or how did you come across what date? How long? Is it still active? Or did it fall by the wayside because it was a pretender of some sort? I don't know, whatever. The idea is you have this record that you never would have had before without using circulation cards for ideas as opposed to books.
Check out this idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's so I came this question came resulted in a three-legged stool, right? And I'm calling the circulation part the witness. The witness.
Ooh.
Right? And then the second leg, of course, is the analog Zettelkasten, right? Which is the connectivity of ideas. And the third leg comes from Orson Scott Card. I don't know why this popped into my head the way it did, but it did. And it's the book, Speaker for the Dead, right? And so the third leg is about meaning. And that is, what did the idea mean to the life that was lived? Right?
Yeah. Oh.
Because an idea doesn't get meaning unless it's lived in some sort of way. And that means it affected your choices. It affected your decisions. It affected how you lived. It was a living thing in your life. If the idea became a living thing or is a living thing in your life, then it has meaning in the sense that I'm talking about here. Right? So you have these three legs. You have witness, you have the Zettelkasten itself, and you have meaning. And on top of that meaning, on top of those three, squarely sits a decision nurturer. Okay? And it's a decision nurturer that I'm calling solid ground because it gives you a place where you've already filtered out your various aspects of craziness. It's already gone. And what you're left with is true reality. And so it's solid ground upon which you can make decision after decision after decision with no wobbly, you know, you know, this is how I live. These are my principles. This is how I go. Boom, boom, boom. And so Mel, hats off to you, baby. You know, that's, you did that. And if it hadn't been for your question, I don't think I would have come up with those three legs and the seat. So
Well, I may have been the spark, but you are the bonfire. You took it and you did something amazing with it.
Wow.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, did this.
I'm gonna write that up.
You're the beginning of it. Me too. I love it. I got your name down there as a source.
Well, but we were all the source, you know. It what is the word? Is the word crucible?
Mm-hmm.
Where things come together and they cook up stuff, you know. Well, this is the crucible. These five minds. And
Every Monday.
hey.
That's right.
More than a year.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Oh,
So that's my contribution for the, I don't know. I'm thinking this is to me, this was the gift, the 2025 gift of the year. I mean, it's so far reaching. It's so wonderful. Okay.
Thank you, Deb. That was awesome.
Well, the thing that I would like to share is utterly different in terms of ingredients in my Zettelkasten that I'm grateful for. This is a section card.
ooh.
It's labeled Stone Pile, and it's labeled, it's 0200. It's just a section card. And Stone Pile refers to a book I think I've mentioned before several times, Weinberg's on Writing, where he talks about his fieldstone method. And fieldstones are just little bits of interesting flotsam that it's almost like the experience collection, but it's not as targeted, right? Always walking around with note cards in his breast pocket. And then he had a process for piling them up, sifting later, figuring out what they're going to do, and he was an incredibly prolific author. So the stone pile is my section where I created this, I don't know when, to just hold some stuff that I didn't know where it went. And last week, Mel mentioned the autofocus method. And so the autofocus method is really just a way of getting through your tasks. It's very sneaky in how it makes you prioritize and break your tasks down into manageable chunks. Very sneaky. And one of my first tasks that I wrote down there was file my vision cards. And I've talked about how there are over 50 of them. And I thought, if I go through every one of those and give it the full treatment, the full Kathleen Spracklen treatment, where you go through and you find all the possible places where it could go, and then you pick the best one. That is a year's worth of effort that I never got around to and won't. What I did was I filed them in the stone pile
Oh.
because what that gives me, it's now in my index. And
Mhm.
my index is the part of my Zettelkasten that I treat the best. It's my most cared for thing in my Zettelkasten. So already I was finding, it's just find a place where in the stone pile this thing fits. And so I was able to find, yeah, some of those things they could be children of each other. And so it's forming little neighborhoods in this stone pile. And I'm kind of viewing it like when my husband and I moved to the town we live in, we first started renting because we didn't know where we wanted to live in this town or if we wanted to live in this town. We started renting. Then we bought the house. That's the house of our dreams. So the stone pile it's renting. These cards are renting. And they're
That's
sending
great.
out feelers through the index. And it's a weight off of me.
Wow.
So I'm about halfway through them. I'm also, it's interspersed with other Roanoke cards that come up and they know where they go. So, yeah, I'm real pleased with that because just finding a home so the autofocus method, it helps you get to good enough.
Mm.
Good enough. Loving it.
Oh, well, I've got a list of questions for you, Julianne, but I'll wait till our Roanoke meeting for
Okie doke.
to take them on because there's a number of follow-ups I'd love to take with you. Well, mine is going to seem so prosaic in comparison. I just did the little questions in the order and answered them. Somebody's got to come in with just the plain old ordinary stuff, and I guess that's me today. All right. First question was gifts from my Zettelkasten. And so I first re answered question 3 first, so I'll save it till later. So the things that I specifically got from keeping Zeke were capture of ideas that would otherwise come one day and be gone the next. Because ideas pop into my mind all the time and then they're gone. But now I've got them captured so I can use them in the future. Reading deeply and remembering what I read. I connect better with it. When I've got a bib card handy, I write things down as I read. I actually pay attention. I don't fall asleep while I'm reading, or I sleep read. I'm capable of that. I don't sleepwalk, I sleep read. Okay. And then third was being able to have ideas interact when they're separated even by years. Because that idea that came and you plunked it away, and then another idea comes that relate to it, you go to file it. Oh my gosh, the two have a wonderful party. They throw a party. And so my gifts for my Zettelkasten come in 2 groups, and those were the direct benefits of the Zettelkasten. So the second question was, what were the gifts that I've given to my Zettelkasten? And the number 1 was countless hours. Hours and hours and hours and hours of my life. Several trials at numbering. I stand firmly, do not renumber your cards. Ask me how I know. Okay. Vaults boxes. And then the biggest one was trust in letting the cards choose their conversations. Okay. I don't know where the feeling is coming from that this card wants to go there, but I can feel it. It goes there. Nope. It's the ruler. It's the boss. And so probably the greatest gift I've given my Zettelkasten are all the hours of my life, but still definitely worth it. And then the third question was, what are the indirect things that you've gotten as a result of your Zettelkasten? And now, of course, I'm right back with where Victoria started us off, which is all the wonderful people that I've met through keeping a Zettelkasten. My life took a completely incredible, strange journey the day that my brother dropped a one-liner email saying, "Now here's a rabbit hole for you to go down." And he pointed me to the .de Zettelkasten. And then from there, I got Zanka Aaron's book. And then I was kind of convinced that I was going to have to find a software program, but what one? I figured, well, somebody on YouTube will tell me. And I did a YouTube search, and Scott Shepper came up as the first thing. He had at that time 6 videos and 36 subscribers. And how on earth did YouTube pick him as the source to send me to? And from that moment on, my life changed. And what I treasure the most of the gift is all exactly what Victoria said, all of you. It's been beyond belief enriching. So that's mine.
Right. Well, I don't know how I can follow up on that, but one of the big gifts that hasn't quite, we've talked around it a bit, but we haven't really said it, that is important to me is the gifts that we give to each other, where we have our innovations that we each come up with, and then everybody else tries it if it seems reasonable. And so I have received so many gifts from that, like the Z-Log from Julianne, and the concept of keeping the Z-Log in a book instead of on cards, which is Victoria and Julianne. And I mean that one comes to mind because I just spent the weekend transferring from cards to the book. So that one is foremost in my mind. And the concept of indexing there first and keeping track of what hasn't actually been indexed in the index, so you can actually file your cards timely and get to the the sort of rote job of filling in the actual index entries as you have time, as it's sort of not something that takes a lot of brain power, not like making the taglines or finding where they go in the first place. So that just frees up all of these ideas to be able to interact with when you haven't done the work, all of the work yet. You've done enough of the work, and you've kept track of what still needs to be done. It's a game changer, I think. So that's a gift I've received. I've offered my own ideas, such as symbols for the highlighter, yes, highlighting highlighting the keywords in the index to make them easier to see at a glance. Really simple thing, but it's really powerful. Makes it so much faster to find what you're looking for. And the concept of using symbols, well, I'm going to keep working with that. I've got some things in the works that we'll be talking about later in ways in which to use them specifically with the Zettelkasten and as adjunct. So yeah, the ideas that we share back and forth, I mean, the gifts that just keep compounding as we each work with them. And like Kathleen, the greatest gift that I give to my Zettelkasten is the time. And sometimes it's sporadic. This weekend, I actually spent all day Saturday just tagging cards, putting them in, filing them. I mean, I was just working with the Zettelkasten all day, except for meal breaks and occasional brain breaks. And it was wonderful. It was really wonderful to just completely deep dive, which is an overused term, but whatever, into it and get into the flow, and just that's all I did all day. So, and the time that you put in, you get back from it as a compounding gift. And then physically, the biggest gift, well, I didn't give, but the biggest gift for the Zettelkasten was our lovely card catalog that my husband bought for both of our Zettelkastens. So it's this beautiful maple library card catalog that we physically store the cards in now. And it's wonderful to have a permanent home that's got plenty of space. It'll take many, many years to fill that thing up. So we're good for a long time. So that's a huge gift for both of us. So to continue on the theme of gifts, I propose that we do a sort of Secret Santa sort of thing, where we each bring a card that has something beautiful, meaningful, whatever that we want to share. And after the show, we can upload scans of our cards if necessary. And then anybody who wants to can install their choice of cards in their own Zettelkastens.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Well, I know that I have something, but I was so focused on the stool that I didn't do anything else. So
Well, by all the writing I saw when you were talking about it, I think that was your Secret Santa gift.
yeah.
But of course, feel free to upload additional if you have something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I can share something. So this is, I spent the morning looking for where was the dream that this came from, because for some time when I've had significant dreams, I've got a dream journal and I've written it down. I couldn't find it, but this was from sometime in 2022 when I was doing a lot of that. And you know, part of the great thing about the questions that Mel asks is that it leads me to find gaps. What should be there and what isn't. So, but I don't need to have a card for this thing because it's been in my head since 2022. And I haven't ever shared this with anybody, but it's kind of my little mantra that came, and it was just in the form of a dude holding a sign that I had to make the effort to read in my dream, which is generally hard.
Yeah.
And it's that. Follow the beauty.
Oh.
Pondering, what does that mean right now?
Wow.
Has really been something. It's been mystifying and inspiring, challenging, all the things. So that's my Secret Santa gift to you.
Wow.
Whoever wants it.
I love it.
I love it. I want your dreams. This is another time that I just want to spend time in Julianne's head.
Well,
Mine are
some of them
awful.
are so sweet. But that one, yeah.
I mean, like I got more than my share of not nice ones.
Well,
So with that, I can go.
okay.
I can share because I guess it kind of speaks to that. And kind of like Julianne, it's a bit of a mantra. It's a card that sits on I have these trays that are meant for playing cards, and there's little slots and you can put cards in them. And that's what I use when I write, so I can kind of see everything and move it around. But this card is always at the front on the corner. And it's the initials OMOT, and it stands for on my own terms. And periodically I will add an extra thought to the card, but some of the thoughts that I've jotted down on there just as reminders to myself, things that I always want to keep front of mind when I sit down to do whatever I'm going to do. And that's reading independent of goals or academic study. It's ignoring the reasons why or the guardrails for why, and just existing with my material and letting it do what it wants to do. I have a terrible tendency to try and hammer things, and instead I try to remind myself to just allow those things to exist on my own terms and to be what they want to be, and to just show up as an equal rather than with a hammer. Another one that's on the bottom is remember to breathe. Because again, often I sit down, coffee, computer, pen, goal, full speed ahead. And it's like, no, sometimes I need to just lay the cards out and sit with them and allow myself to think. And speaking back to the earlier question, that's probably for me the most significant discovery that I've made is remembering to allow your process to have room. And for me, that's on my own terms again, because, for 13 years, I've been forced into always running toward the fire, have a plan when you get there, work the problem, and it's all very structured and very fast. And I have forgotten things like dreaming and daydreaming and not having a goal, just being. So that's, I know a lot of people have like a word for the year. You pick kind of a word or whatever. So I decided that on my own terms is my 2026. 2025 was quantum leap, and I feel like I did that. I feel like I made my quantum leap. So now it's, allow time to breathe and allow things to evolve on my own terms and just show up and let it do what it wants to do. So that's mine.
Well, mine is pretty much in the same vein, and I'm going to switch to my down-facing camera. Hopefully it'll be in sight, and if not, I'll push it in sight real quickly. And the thing that struck me with this is almost identical to Julianne's and has almost the same date. As you may notice, the date is from 1922, October 24th.
2022.
2022.
I was born in 1947. I have an excuse. So from October 24th of 2022, when this card came into my system, it's a 3x5, and which is also an indication that it's an old card in my system. And what it reads, I'll just take it off video now, just change back. Okay, the way I wanted to show you the date because it's the same year that Julianne was talking about it. And it's the tagline is "Trust your sense of beauty." And the quote was from a Magnolia Journal from the fall of 2022. And it says, "Start to build a habit of awareness and see what delights you. No one else sees the world the same way you do. Just be present and trust your sense of beauty." For all three of us.
Yeah.
And for me, that there was another one that came into existence, and I don't have the date offhand, but it's definitely it came from you, Mel. The idea of taking a nature walk and just stopping and looking at the things around me, because I realized that, I go out of my house, get in my car and go someplace and do my errand and get back in my car and come back home. And other than that, I'm an indoor person, just about exclusively. It wasn't always that way. I used to like to hike and, they spent a lot of time outdoors, but that's kind of disappeared over the years. So that was a wonderful reminder.
I remember that. That was from my short-lived podcast for when I did the podcast challenge. And that may have been 2022 as well, actually. Now that I think about it, might have been 23. I'm not sure. It was September, whichever year it was. But yeah, that's awesome. So I'm going to pull up my offering, which I created today for this thing. And this is a little card that I made for you all. And the quote is from the book The Nothing That Is, A Natural History of Zero by Robert Kaplan, which you might not think would contain much, it's mathematical. but it actually it was a whole meditation, a whole series of meditations on the nature of zero, and it's actually a beautifully written book with so much in it that I'm going to have to read it several more times. But the quote is, "The world may not only be more singular than we think it is, than we think, it may be more singular than we can think."
Ooh.
So here's your little
Nice.
Christmas mouse on a stack of books to bring you joy. And there's
Yeah.
space at the top to add your own tagline, your own address, your own space at the bottom to add your own response if you want to. So yeah, that is my gift to all of you.
Beautiful. Let's do this more frequently.
Yeah. Oh.
Christmas.
Christmas every day.
Yeah.
Definitely a Christmas celebration.
Well, do we want to continue chatting for a bit, or do we want to just call it good?
Well, at a minimum, I'd like to let everyone know where you can find us when we're not on YouTube. We're over in LiLLiPub. That's where we hang out when we're not making these videos. And if you thought it was fun interacting with us here, wait till you try interacting with us over there. We've got some great stuff going, marvelous, marvelous things. Victoria has a workshop in the going on. We've got an experience collection, and now we're going to have a character trait experience collection. We've got a Roanoke group where we're talking about the book we're writing. Mel has a discussion group around his newsletter and the work he's doing on the logic system of Ramon Lull. Deb is sharing some of her insights in the group that she's planning for the coming year, that I'm so excited to see her step out and develop. And it's just a really exciting place where we gather to nurture one another and help one another grow to become the best people that we can possibly be. And we're really there to help make that happen for each other. So if you want to be part of that each other, LiLLiPub is your place to be. And Merry Christmas.
Mm.
Well, I think we can finish off this episode then.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful. See you next
Yes.
week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.